So hi everyone, welcome to another Marvel Rivals replay review. We're having a little look here at a Magneto game for Debamon. He's currently down in the bronze ranks. He's got a season high of silver 2, but unfortunately he's had a little bit of a fall. So we're just going to be analysing his tank gameplay here. We're going to have some Magneto and some Hulk with a tiny little bit of Punisher at the end. So hopefully we can point out some tips, some tricks, maybe where he went wrong, and some things that he and you guys can take into your next rank games to hopefully climb up the ladder. So let's get into it. Lovely. So we're on the Wakanda map here. I think it's called Convergence, where you have a capture point, then it's a payload. I often find on this one, at some of the higher ranks, this isn't a great place to stand, because if the Doctor Strange decides to put a portal down behind you, the enemy team are going to have the high ground. They're going to be able to push onto the point way before you get there. So just try and think about where you're starting the fight from. Again, we're down in the lower ranks, so we're probably not going to see a lot of those things happening, but it's things you want to think about as you're moving up. Debamon's just mentioned in the Twitch chat, which you guys are more than welcome to join. I stream on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays from 17:15 GMT. If you hop into the Twitch chat or you check out my YouTube, you can pop your replay into the chat and I'll be more than happy to get you up on stream and give you guys a bit of a review. But as he's mentioned, he is queuing with the Spidey, the Luna and the Venom. So we've got a 4 stack here, so we need to make sure we're using communication as much as we can, pointing out people who are low, maybe when we're low health, and using the communication that we don't normally get when we're solo queuing. Right now I can tell you that, you should tell your Venom off for being there. There's no need for us to be round that corner at all. With our shield on Magneto there, I can see what you were trying to do. And actually, before we get any further, Debamon, I just want to ask you a question. Do you have this setting turned on? It's something I always ask tanks. So if you go to keyboard, combat, and it could be the same. It's probably controller, combat if you're playing on console. But this option here, allied health bars. Do you have that turned on? Oh, you have it turned on. Awesome. Yeah, it's really important to have it turned on as a tank, especially like Magneto, so you can keep an eye on who on your team needs the shielding. But yeah, really important setting you want to have turned on, Debamon, so it's really good to hear that you've got it. Just the first bit of feedback, though, is you've gone to use the shield for the Namor, but he jumps up and uses his shift, so it's just a bit of poor timing. Nice use of the shift as you're taking damage, but we probably want to be pulling back here or moving over to our team. We just seem a little bit lost, a little bit unaware maybe of where we need to be. But can you see how their team kind of walks in together? They're focusing their fire. You've not got your second tank. Guys are kind of a little bit confused by the group wall. We're spending a lot of time not really looking at the enemy, and then we just end up dying. All of our abilities are available for us to use, so we could have used our shift to put up a wall to block some bullets coming in. We could have maybe put a shield on ourselves or on one of our healers to keep them alive, and we could have used our right click to push the enemy away. So one thing that I tend to talk to bronzes about quite a lot is ability usage. If we're not using these abilities, they may as well be on cooldown. Really nice that you've turned to face that Onk. And this is where, as a team, once they've captured that first point, we want to be over here. You as the tank set the front line. You're in a stack as well. So just let the team know you're pushing here, or you're stopping here. Your Venom looks like he's looking for just to be a bit of a nuisance, but he's not going to gain a lot there. We're right near the enemy spawn. He ends up blocking himself off line of sight from the healers, and the rocket's just going to chase him down and he dies. So now you've pushed a bit further forward. Again, we're not using our shift here. And we're not getting ourselves in a stronger position. I think you managed to block the Groot ulti there with your shield, which is good to see. Standing, we're in a Mantis ulti, so we're okay. But can you see how we haven't, you know, the Groot and the Storm, they're ignoring you right now because they can see a squishy little Mantis. So this is where you have the opportunity to turn and shield her with your, I think it's the E to hit to shield somebody else. So you've lost the healer. They've put the rocket amp down. And can you see it's twice now where you've been scared that you turn around to run away. So we've got all of our abilities again available. These abilities, if we turn and look at the enemy, would possibly help us to get around this corner, stay alive, and just, you know, be here for when these ultimates finish. So just a little tip there is make sure you're using everything that you possibly can that's available in your kit, and you're not dying with abilities on cooldown, especially as a mag. You know, dying when you've got shield, it's a horrible feeling because you just sat there staring. Oh god, I could have shielded myself.
Mutants always rise again.
I think he is a tank that takes some game sense as well to know when to shield someone and when to throw shields up, which is why I think down here Thor is quite good because of the damage he can do. I can see that you're waiting for your team here, but this is where we could just be maybe stood in front of the Moon Knight, putting up a shield to protect him. Let's use our shift here. We're taking a lot of damage. So we're putting a lot of pressure on our Luna. See, our Luna had to ulti there because we weren't using any of our own abilities to stay alive. Spider-Man gets a really good ultimate, and you guys managed to get control of the point. Very nice. Yeah, definitely Wolfen. I think the biggest tip for bronze players and anybody watching this video is to just make sure you're using your abilities. If you're worried about using them at the wrong time, it's better than not using them, and then you'll learn, should I use it here? Okay, I died. Maybe I could have used it differently. But if you don't try, you don't know. So our positioning here on Mag, we don't want to be going down these stairs here. Because if we go down these stairs, Debamon, we've got no natural cover to the left, no natural cover to the right. Yes, these pillars are destroyable, but we can use them to just block a bit of line of sight. Maybe step over here, because we want to be peeking and poking. We want to give our Luna an opportunity to heal us. Because if we just stood here taking damage non-stop, your Jeff and your Luna are not going to be able to turn away to heal the rest of your team, because they're going to be so focused and using all of their abilities to keep you alive. So just remember, you're not invincible. So again, you know, if we do have that setting on where we can see our teammates' health bars, if we look, we can see that our Luna's really low. We can hear the Moon Knight ulti going off behind us. And every healer also has a voice line to let you know that they've taken damage. So if you just listen very closely to the Luna, so she says, I'm hurt, is what the start of her. Yeah, it's okay if you panic. It's perfectly fine. But I think you panic because you don't have confidence that you've got abilities that can save you or save other people. But at this point here, I would be dropping my E onto my Luna. Kind of forgot what I was supposed to do. That's okay. It comes with time. The more you play this game, the more you learn about what you should do in certain situations. And, you know, we spoke a little bit earlier about mechanical skill. But knowledge and game sense is, for me, one of the most important things when it comes to playing a hero shooter or a team shooter. My aim is not cracked. Like, I'm not a DPS player. I'm a support and I'm a tank player because I can utilize my game sense and my knowledge on those heroes much more than I can on a DPS who relies entirely on, not entirely, but DPS majority of the time are relying on their mechanical skills to take advantage of what they do with their game sense. Whereas I'm using my body, I'm using my positioning, I'm using my abilities to give my team space, to keep my team alive. And I get a lot more satisfaction out of that It's probably what a washed DPS player would say, than I do killing the enemy team. My actual first thought was that their spawn is closer to that choke, and if I walked up there, I could kind of walk up to the wall and use shield and bubble and kind of prevent the rocket and Groot walking in. So I was trying to get everyone to look behind them. It's a good idea, but you're giving up way too much. And, you know, also at the same time, their spawn is all the way. Look how far we're going here. Over here. So we're actually nowhere near their spawn at the moment. Their spawn is you know, it's a big distance between us. So yeah, no abilities. We're on 8 health. We've still not used that E or our F to save ourselves. We're not using our shift. And then we just die there. So again, just the biggest feedback so far is let's use those abilities, Debermon. So again, we could put the shield on the Luna. We could be using our shift to walk out that door. So as a Magneto, you know, doors are choke points. You have a big shield. There's an onk in the way. If you have a shield walking out of that door where everyone on the enemy team's going to be staring, they're just going to be shooting into your shield. You've also got your ulti available as well. I think down at bronze, you know, looking at the enemy team, they don't have a cloak and dagger. They don't have a Punisher. So there's not really anyone on the team that we're holding our ulti for. So don't be afraid to just use it to put some aggression down. Look how grouped they all are at the moment. So we could be using our ult to just defensively suck up some bullets to help your team get out. And there we just end up falling because the Groot uses his ultimate on us. And we're just slowly trickling out with the rest of our team. I think here you may be thinking about changing hero. So when you change hero, especially when you've got your ultimate, you lose your ult charge. So something I like to do, sometimes it's the wrong choice because it can force you into not changing at the right time, but I like to use my ultimate before I change to try and get value out of it before I'm giving up a 50% bonus. There's another setting as well on Hulk that you can change. It's called toggle to jump, which means all you need to do is press your space bar and it will begin the jump charge rather than having to hold it. Can you hear those noises going on in the background as well at the moment, Debermon? Can we hear that? Can we hear those attacks behind us? There's an enemy storm putting grief on our supports. Our Jeff's just died. So I see that you've reacted now, but maybe we could have reacted a little bit earlier. We could have gone in there, used our shield to help protect the Jeff. So it looks like you're a little bit more confident on Hulk, because we've used more abilities than we have on Magneto. You know, we've all got to start somewhere, Debermon. No one was an absolute expert when they first started playing hero shooters. Just think about your positioning there a little bit as well. Let me just pause it for you. Just imagine you're fighting against someone, the Adam Warlock, someone with better aim. You're standing out in the open where their whole team comes from. So you could just walk a little bit further forward. I know there's a Moon Knight ult at the moment, but even down the ramp, just get yourself out of this line of sight. Just get yourself into a stronger position. And then, yep, we're shooting in the group. Nice, getting some attacks. Keep shooting the Thor. Just back it up a little bit. Make sure you're keeping an eye on your health. That's something I know a lot of bronze players don't do, is looking at their health bar. It's, you know, it's quite far down. It's not the biggest UI in the world, and it's out of where, you know, we're always looking here. We're always looking upwards and left and right. Just make sure every now and again you glance down at your health so you know if you need to get in or out. Cold B in the chat has said, use your shift on yourself or enemies as much as possible to gather charge to go back to Hulk form. Yeah. So it's a little unknown fact about Hulk, but he gains extra Hulk form charge whenever he uses his shift, whether that hits allies. Whether that hits yourself or enemies. So just make sure you're constantly using that when it's available on cooldown. Just look at where you are at the moment and the rest of your team is, though. Let's make sure we're supporting them. Let's use our shift. So we're not using our shift. We're taking a lot of damage, and then we use it afterwards. Do you know that your shift actually gives shields to your teammates around you? So if we just look at that again here, we could put our shift down right about now, and we'd be able to shift our Hulk. Our Thor would be able to give our Cloak and Dagger a shield too. And then maybe the Cloak and Dagger stays a little bit alive a little bit longer to where she can heal you. And we've gone in with the ulti. Okay. So just think about what space are we creating by being all the way back here. We've just watched a few people on our team die. We know one of our healers is dead. Your friend Spider-Man's dead, and you know that. And also their spawn is, just up, just down there. So their spawn room's just over there. So we're not really creating a lot of space here. So again, just think about what are we gaining by going in. Their whole team's alive. We're a Hulk with our ulti. We might get one kill out of it, but we're a tank. We're really important at holding the line. We could just be waiting a little bit further back here, waiting for our team to come back and making sure we're not going in and dying and then causing the constant trickle between everybody. Wolfin said something that's not mentioned a lot about Hulk. Something that's not mentioned a lot, but Hulk is very good at supercharging your own support ults by constantly jumping back to them when you're low. So yeah, support ultis are charged quicker when they're healing someone than when they do damage. So what's great about Hulk is that he goes in, he causes a bit of chaos, he spots that his health's low, and he jumps back as quick as he can to get to his healers so they can heal him up. Really good tip there, Wolfin. Thanks for sharing that one with us. Unfortunately, we die. Our Scarlet Witch goes in with us and probably dies too. Oh no, she manages to escape, but she's not in a strong position anymore. And then look, Thor's going to go in without his Hulk to help him. And then yeah, we're just playing a bit too aggressive without the team. We shouldn't be going in there. The payload's not really moving very far. Let's play on this corner. The Thor could be playing on this payload too. Let me fight someone who wants to come up to me. You don't have to always walk up to them. At the end of the day, you guys are on defense. So they're going to be having to come to you. So use these walls, use these angles, use those natural, blocking lines of cover.
Only 60 seconds left.
And so this is where you're waiting for your team. Wicked. You've not gone in to trickle any further. You're waiting for everyone to spawn in. And then you're going to go in as a 5 instead of as a 1. So our Thor's gone in. We're going in with him. We're destroying the rocket beacon. Really, really good. You always want to make sure you destroy that if you have the chance. A nice shield on the Thor. But in this moment here, a Groot has popped a wall down. I managed to spot it out the corner of my eye. But someone who should be telling you this is, I think Drip you mentioned was in your stack. I haven't actually played a lot of Magneto, so I kind of forget what cooldown his abilities have. And that's it. You just have to play more Debamon. You just have to get more games under your belt to gain confidence in the heroes that you're playing. But just actively think about, what can I be doing? What do my abilities do? You can press F1 on every hero to read them. If you forget them at the start of the game, just press F1. Check them out. But yeah, what I was just saying before Nomad came in was the Cloak and Dagger is in your stack, so she should be telling you what's going on back here. There's a Groot wall, I can't heal you, and there's a Thor beating up me and Mantis. This is where you as a Hulk You can jump over that wall and go back and help your team. In fact, you even look at the group wall, so you know that your healers can't see you anymore. You know, you also turn around and you see that your Thor's dead. So right now, this jump that you're charging up needs to be used to jump over this wall and disappear. Instead, I can see what's coming. You've gotten bloodthirsty. Oh, completely wrong. Completely wrong. You proved me wrong there, Debamon. So, but sadly, it's just a little bit too late.
The final 10 seconds.
Spider-Man is a very, very difficult hero to play, so I take my hat off to Cocaine for trying it. I cannot play him. I've tried him once or twice. He's just not my vibe. Maybe if I put some more time into him, I could. But yeah, a really good Spider-Man can absolutely terrorize people down at this low level. So your team manages to get the win there. I don't think we do very much at the end on yourself. We will just flick back quickly and see. Yeah, I think your end here is just running back from spawn.
Behold the god of
And then just running forward. A little tip for you as well there. I know you were running really, really quickly. But as you're going in, Hulk's in the way a little bit, so let me just wait. You see Moon Knight at the moment? You see when he's holding an Onk in his hand like this? It means he's trying to put his ulti down. So what you could just do on the Hulk is maybe walk forward a little bit, or get over to your team and just pop your shift, because you know he's about to ulti. If we have a look at it from his perspective, you can see we've got the confirm, and he just pops it down. The good news is though, you jump into his face and no one else is on the point, so you guys are able to get the defense there. And in most games, that's a decent defense. Any opportunity you get where you stop the opponent from getting a 3-0 means that you can win without it going to overtime. So we'll just get ready for the second half. Where's my boy Debamon? Here we are here. So Debamon, because it's a bronze game, there's a lot to learn and a lot to go over. Is there anything in particular that we've spoken about so far whilst doing your review that you want me to go into a bit more detail about? Or would you like us to just kind of carry on the general overview? Wicked. Okay. So yeah, Debamon, it hasn't been spoken about, but I want to know when to go in and terrorize their backline. Oh. So yes, we can try and keep an eye out for you on that one. But I think that's why I think Hulk is difficult for someone in bronze, because you have to have that fine balance between diving the front line and protecting your backline, or protecting your front line. And sorry, diving their backline and protecting your front line, making a space, being a tank, and looking after your people. I would say I'll try and keep an eye out for when you could do that, but that's why I recommend somebody like Thor, somebody like Doctor Strange, for someone in bronze. Until you're super confident in your abilities and the best time to use them, diving is going to be hard, but I also understand that diving is fun. The one argument I would make towards you is that you had a Spider-Man in your game, and he was your friend, Cocaine. So whenever the Spider-Man went in, you could have gone in with him. Yeah, Hulk ability timing is really important. He's a tank I haven't mastered yet. So again, this is where we want to be at the front line. This is a good jump in. Very nice. Yep, perfect. That's absolutely how we should have dived in. With that one there as well, fight them in this room a little bit. You've got a health pack over here. You've still got your shield available. So you can turn around and just be punching them. You can tell Cocaine, there's people in here, I need help. Iron Man, beam them. And look what happens when you turn around. The Black Panther has to run. The Thor's having to run. So this is where you're thinking about leaving, but this is where we should have been thinking about that health pack as well. So we've left just a little bit too late. We've stayed a little bit too long. Here is where we shouldn't have went past the door. Because we see an Adam Warlock's turned up. Their healer's here now. And our healer, I guess, is dealing with a Psylocke, or maybe ran out, or she's trying to heal up Cocaine. So we're just a little bit unaware of what's going on. But this is where Drip could let you know. You know, if you're queuing in a stack, you could let your fellow guy know, oh, I've got nothing. Debamon, we're being dived. You need to get out. So you need to make sure you're communicating with each other. And as Wolfin's just said there, as we've gone through the door, we've used our shift. We're half health. Everything we have is on cooldown now. Our shield is 9 seconds away. We do have our E, but unfortunately we miss it. And yeah, we just hang around a little bit too long. We're not using our shift. Yeah, and I guess we're just feeling a bit overwhelmed, a bit run down. And that's because we just went a little bit too angry. It's not always about holding W.
Let's try this again.
But your team's getting some kills as well, because the enemy team held W a bit too long. Now, should we be going in here? I guess we're trying to run past and you're getting to your team on the point. Your team have done a really, really nice flank here, forcing the enemy to move. And I like our jump. So right here, we're not going to catch this little rocket man. So if we just watch again, target acquisition. Who is our Iron Man going on? Who's our friend trying to kill? He's trying to kill the group. Yes, he's low, and yes, it would be really nice if we could kill this man. But the second he dashes, he's no longer a viable target. Do you know who is? Big squishy tree man. Yes, he dies, but we could be there as well. So now there's a Thor and there's a Black Panther, and look how long it's taking us to get back into that fight to help. We've got our shift available. Look at our health. Lovely. So a little bit earlier on the shift there. And do you see this big bubble? You see this big, massive bubble? Do you know what that bubble is? True. That's fair enough, Debamon, but a rocket can heal a group walking backwards. A rocket can just fire a couple of orbs and zip into the sky again. So that's Cloak and Dagger's healing bubble. You, especially on this health, you could be fighting a couple of steps to your right, and all of this health here would be healing, would be going up. So we don't even stand in it for a moment. Our Cloak and Dagger ulties to keep us alive. And then we're keeping them off the point. So we're just punching around. Again, we're keeping the rocket busy like you've mentioned. But instead what we could do there is, you know, who's attacking the rest of your team? Let's see what happens while you're doing that. So the Thor is fighting your healers, and he's forced your Mantis to ulti. The rest of your team's fighting him, and we got a little rocket. Whereas Thor is probably the scarier target. If the Thor dies, the rocket can't come back into the point. I like that we haven't used our ulti there. Because we don't want to be using our ulti when we're panicking. Yeah, Cloak and Dagger right click. So just as a tank, keep an eye out for that bubble.
Here we go again.
So we're getting back in there. So again, our left shift came out really, really slow there. If you pop your shield, we look here. So the enemy team's going in. Psylocke's about to ulti. Black Panther's in our face, and we know we're next to both of our healers. If you pop your Hulk shield here, Mantis might still be alive. Cloak and Dagger would be on a bit more health. They nearly died as well, but they managed to get their cloak form off really quickly, and you would be on more health too. Instead, we use it a little bit too late. Everyone else is already dead around us, and we end up dropping down too. So again, just a little bit earlier on our shield usage, and we would have been okay. You know, the way I always think about my shield is if the enemy's doing damage to me and I'm not full health, shield's a good time. So I like that we didn't go running out the door. We've come down. It sounds like the Thor's told you that things are going on. So you've reacted to your friend. We're standing inside the cloak. So right there, again, I don't know if you've got, if you just go into your settings, go to audio, and combat mix, I've got focus on. So I'm able to hear that there's Psylocke's footsteps right before I jump. So just, you know, turn up the stream a little bit and just listen here for a moment. And I know that right next to me is my cloak and dagger. So there's the Psylocke. We also saw her earlier. So we swap over to you. Just listen closely. So I can hear her walking from this bit over to this bit. And there she is. She's coming down. She's focusing on my cloak now. And that's where, you know, she doesn't get a kill because she's not aggressive enough. But we could have turned around and just made her leave. So just make sure you're aware of what's going on around you. I like the idea of getting them to go to the point. It kind of forces them to move and turn. But we're just punching the payload. We're not gaining much with our positioning. While we have a cloak and dagger ulti. So let's just rewind that again. This purple on the floor, this is invincibility time. So let's follow where cloak and dagger goes. She goes along the point and she comes back. So we could be standing here and we could keep fighting them. Look at our health. We're full health. We've got shield. We've got E. We've got right click. We've got our ulti. This is our time to dive the backline. To go ham. To go angry. To turn into the Hulk and beat some people in the face. This is where we could be using our shift as well. So again, a lot of ultis going off, and we're using our shift quite late. At the moment as well, you've got no one on your team being a passenger princess. So this payload, if you told Drip to stand on this payload, he can still heal all of you, but look how slow it's moving. As soon as someone goes on it, look how much quicker it goes. So you always want to make sure you have one person on the payload. I wouldn't worry about it, Debamon. Like, at the end of the day, your Thor is playing a much higher damaging tank. Hulk is similar to Captain America. He's about causing disruption. He's about going in and out of the fight, making healers turn around and use their cooldowns. That's why I think he's a bit of a difficult hero to play down at bronze. I'm not telling you not to play him, but I'm just saying he takes a lot of game sense and a lot of knowledge and knowing how far you can push him. I don't know if you were here when we were talking about the way I play Rocket, but how I'm playing Rocket at the moment, I'm trying to push him to his maximum. How long can I stay attacking this Venom? How long can I sit on the front and zip back out? Constantly thinking about what I can do to improve. But you're still learning the game. You're still learning what everybody's abilities do. And, you know, little things about the map and things like that and where health packs are. So Hulk is one of those heroes where it takes a lot of thought process, and he's just very difficult for bronzes. So you hear that Psylocke shooting us on the right? That's who we can go and dive. So if we just rewind, you mentioned about when do I go and dive on squishies. So yeah, we hear her invisibility end and we hear her start shooting. We actually have her shoot us a couple of times. She's still shooting us. And it takes us just a little bit too long to realise that she's there. And that would have been, you know, you being able to go and dive on someone squishy and make her scare away. Wolfin's just shared in the chat. Jump in, use clap/stun, get to half health, use your bubble to jump out, or if you have ult, you can stay till you're low, then ult to fully heal. Absolutely. Now that's the best thing you've done all game, Debamon. That was really, really good. You've picked up a health pack. You've spotted Storm in the sky. You've jumped in, and you've beat her up. So really good sequence of events. This is where the one thing you could have done to just make that the best play, look at your health here. Look at the position you've put yourself in. You're against the rocket ulti. We're on really low health. Let's pop our ulti. We haven't used it yet. You know, let's get some value. Let's try and extend this team fight. Let's try and make a bit of a wall for your team. Unfortunately, Cloak's dead, but you've still got Scarlet in there. You've still got Thor in there. So, you know, let's give the enemy a big, meaty green man to shoot at by popping your ulti. Instead, you die, or we drop into Hulk form. The Thor dies, and then the Scarlet Witch has to run away. You know, in a different game, I might have told you not to ult there if we were a little bit of a higher rank, if things were a bit different. But I just want you to start using your abilities. Yeah, Puny Banner make Hulk sad. Puny Hulk make Tasty Santa mad. You know, I want to see you using that Hulk and turn into a monster. We're just sitting on it a bit too long. So it's a nice jump onto the Adam. Fortunately, we just jump a bit too far, but I like the aggression. Lovely. We've got our shift available. Okay, we've gone for the ult now. Not a terrible time to use it. I do like it. But I think we just lost track of everyone a bit. So that's fine. What I would say to you as well is you don't need to be doing damage 100% of the time. So just take a moment here to look to your left, look to your right, spot who and where the squishies are. This man right here, he's just used his respawn, if I'm not mistaken. What are with these names in these games? We've had Krusty Peen, and now we've had Fanny. But yeah, the target you should be going for here is this man pumping into your back. And look how far away he is from the rest of his team. One jump over here, and this man is dead. So just a little bit of a panic, a little bit of a punch. I've seen worse as well, Wolfin, but I think it's just coincidental that we've had the female and the male version. In England, fanny is a much more colloquial term for what a woman has. You guys in America, you have your fanny packs. Fanny's your tush, I think. Apologies for the American accent. I normally do a much better one. So I think we just hard focused the storm there. We didn't really pay attention to what was going on around us. So if we just rewind. So we've dropped down. We've turned around. We've spotted our two healers. The Black Panther has just gone in. So this is what Drip could be telling you. And then we're looking to go up here. We're looking to go here. When actually, this little man, we've spoken about him before. Adam Warlock, he can't run away from you. He's got no mobility moves. So he's Hulk food. You know, he's a little ripe banana for you to just peel open and destroy. But instead, we're trying to go for a storm. I understand you've probably seen some TikTok clips where people jump up into the sky and pull storm down. My stack was screaming at me to do something about the storm before I got confused. If I'm honest with you, Iron Man should be dealing with the storm. Mantis should be dealing with the storm. You know, Cloak and Dagger can do a little bit to the storm, but Hulk is not Storm's job. You know, yes, you can jump up there and catch her, but she's not your job. She's not who you should be dealing with. This little squishy boy, he should be your #1 target every single time. Just bully him. Go on him every time you see him, and he'll change. So you stack, let you down there. Scarlet Witch can also easily kill Storm. Yeah, the Scarlet Witch, that's on your team, can easily take him out. Nomak, where I would also recommend not giving up when you get knocked out of Hulk. Jump around and be evasive. There's lots of times when you can still contribute and stay alive, even after they knock you out. Yeah, spot on. You know, I think you're thinking about maybe a new hero to pick here. Yeah, so this is where your stack you mentioned is shouting at you that Storm's being a nuisance. But if anyone should change, it's the Iron Man, or it's the, you know, maybe the Thor. Because I think the Hulk is able to just dive on that Adam Warlock. But no, really, really good point, Nomak. It's never over till it's over. It's never over till you're dead. Oh. That's a little bit of a... just staring at your own corpse there, Debamon. Just a shout out as well to SSBF for the follow. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Same for you, Nomak, as well, following earlier. Thanks for that, guys. If you want to check out the YouTube too, I should have a new video up there later on today, looking at some plat players. So that change over to Punisher didn't really gain us anything either. If we have a little look at the stats at the end of the game, we've ended up blocking a lot more damage than the Thor did. And the Thor as well swapped over to the Storm. So you guys just completely lost your front line there when they still had one. Wolfin said there will be times that staying alive is also bad, as it could just hard stagger yourself. True. True, that's something I've been trying to speak to my friend about in our games, is often it's the natural reaction of a person to not want to die, to not want to get killed by the enemy team. But sometimes it's the best thing you can do to make sure that you're not respawning 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds after your team has already spawned. Then they have to wait for you to go in. So sometimes it's okay to just die. But you have to figure that one out. Hope you managed to learn something from that one, Debamon. I think it was an interesting perspective of a tank player down in bronze. The best tip I can give you on the Magneto is use your abilities more. Just think about where you're standing and how you can use your abilities to support your team. And then on the Hulk, it's just, you know, figure out who are the targets that you can bully. So, for example, that game was Adam Warlock. Think about how you can be using your shield to protect your teammates. And as people in the chat have mentioned, you want to be using the combo of going in, stunning someone, slapping someone, getting yourself down to half health, using your shield, and then retreating onto the back line. You know, I think you've got potential there, Debamon. You just need a bit more practice, a little bit more time, and if you want to rewatch any part of this video, you can rewatch the VOD on Twitch at Tasty Santa, and like I said, I'll be uploading some healer videos later on today on YouTube, which you can check out too. And if you've managed to make it this far into the video and want your own replay reviewed, or just some general tips and tricks of climbing up the rank ladder, make sure to come and check me out live on Twitch at Tasty Santa. I'll be on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursday evenings from 17:15 GMT. Also make sure you drop a like, comment and subscribe for any more future videos and guides. See you guys in the next one. Peace.